Greater Boston League Baseball. We're coming to you live. Mr. Sullivan again, getting it done. Our director. We'll put him to work and he's doing a good job. Lynn English, starting the season. They had a few exhibitions, but they haven't played a regular game yet. And this will be their first. Somerville has played 2, and they're looking for their first win. And a game that's been bounced all over the place. They're supposed to play this game on May 5th here. Instead, they're going to play that game at Somerville and play Somerville here today. And then they made it for 7 o'clock tonight. And they changed it with nobody playing here today. They changed it to 4 o'clock. And Somerville had a very difficult time getting here. So it's close to 7 o'clock by the time we get going. A lot closer to 5 than 4. Even the umpires are tired. They've been here for a long time. And I apologize up front. Somerville did not give me any first names. So this is the second baseman, Fusco, who is leading off against Gilmer Galva, who's on the mound for Lynn English. Chop foul. The count quickly goes 0-2. Weather not getting any better. When we had Tuesday, it was ice cubes. We were here yesterday, it was freezing. And we're here today. The flag is not blowing out in right center field, so there's not a lot of breeze, but it is chilly and cold. Certainly not baseball weather. Strike 3 called. So Galva starts it with a strikeout. Esteban Paula, the coach. I've known him for a long time. He was a very good player at Lynn English, and he's done a very good job coaching for a while. So we've been friends for a while. Very good player. I think he's still playing for Joe Coppinger's Swampski team in the semi-pro league that plays on the North Shore. Hit in the air. First baseman was right there to make the catch, and the second baseman says, no, let me take it. And Josue Prandy makes the catch, standing right behind Gilbert Galva, the first baseman. So 2 up, 2 down. This is Bourne, the pitcher. That was Adoro that popped up. Way up over the head, high and tight for a ball. Manning Field was loaded a while ago with track practices. There were a ton of kids over there. It's now empty. Hit the center field, a couple of steps over towards right center. Engel Thomas makes the one-handed catch, so an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Bulldogs and Galva. The Highlanders go down. And English will bat in the bottom of the first. It'll be Eward Beato, the shortstop, leading off. Gilmer Galva, the pitcher, will hit second. Jariel Benson will play third and bat third. First baseman Gilbert Galva will hit in the cleanup spot. Playing center field, Engel Thomas batting fifth. Catching and batting sixth, Elian Pena. Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder, will hit number 7. Josue Prandy will hit 8th and play second base. And Saul Herrera will DH for the right fielder, Daniel Fuentes. So the sun's shining a little bit, but it is cold. I'm not sure this is even football weather. But English is trying to make it 3 in a row here. Classical had a tight 1-0 win over Everett on Tuesday. St. Mary's had a come-from-behind win over undefeated Bishop's Tang yesterday here, getting 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to win 6-3. And all of those were unearned, by the way. So English is trying to make it 3 in a row. And they're here today, and they'll be right back here tomorrow. They'll be taking on Lynn Tech, who is Lynn Tech combining with Kip now for the baseball. So there's not 5 baseball teams now, and Lynn is 4. So Bourne is on the mound for Somerville. And English will look to get out front and get going here in their first game of the season. It still is a little bit different for me to say Greater Boston League for English and Classical, even though they've been there in the league for a few years. It's still, they're in the Northeast Conference for so long. I did so many of their games in the Northeastern Conference, and then they just switched over. And that league will be different this year in football, with Everett opting out of the league and going independent. So Beato, the shortstop, will step in against Bourne to get the bottom of the first going. It's different seeing English in black instead of red and gray. Pitching from the stretch. Swing and a miss. Got his money's worth and swung right through it. Missed outside for a ball. Bourne being very deliberate. Cold weather has kept the fans away. High and tight for a ball. Few fans next to the English dugout. A couple up in the sky view seats up top. Nobody here from Somerville. Might be a few sitting in the cars outside, parked outside the fence watching, but not a lot of people. Hit foul back up in the seats. So we have a very gracious fan coming way from the third base side, chasing that ball that went up in over the right side. Missing inside, broke late, and the count goes 3-2. The pitch from Bourne. Swing and a miss, he gets him. So both pitchers start the game off with a strikeout. Galvas was called. Bourne is swinging. And Gal will hit. It'll be pitcher against pitcher here. Good pitch, broke on the inside corner. He ducked away, but he broke in for a strike. Hit back up over everything, out of play, and quickly it's 2 strikes. Again, being very deliberate, Bourne. Hit past third base, foul. Got out just enough in front of it to knock it foul. That's going to make it up in the seats. And the count stays 0-2. We're almost in the middle of April and everybody's bundled up like it's the middle of winter. Winter coats are back out. Hit foul again. Pulls it foul again. Galva hanging around, making Bourne throw some pitches. We mentioned Esteban Paula, the head of English. Matt O'Donnell, the head guy for Somerville. That didn't miss by much. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. But it was just off the corner. The 1-2 pitch. Up and coming. Pulls it again. Long at bat for Gilmer Galva. Whatever he does, it's been a good at bat. He's hanging in, making the pitcher throw a lot of pitches. So here we go again with the 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air. It's in foul territory. The pitcher comes over. First baseman was circling, trying to make the play. The first baseman come over in foul territory and made the one-handed grab right around his knee. So Bourne helps himself. He finally gets Galva. 2 up, 2 down for Jariel Benson, the third baseman. High and tight for a ball. That's on the corner for a strike. Wide for a ball. Gilbert Galva, the first baseman, on deck. On the corner for a strike. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the first inning. Bourne delivers. Swing and a miss. He chased the high pitch. So we played an inning. We're right back where we started, dead even. Both pitchers have 1, 2, 3 innings. Bourne a little bit better. He got 2 strikeouts. Galva got 1. But we played an inning. We started even. We finished the first inning even, 0-0. Galva will start his second inning of work. And for Somerville, it'll be the middle of the order, 4, 5, and 6. And now that flag that was limp is starting to fly around a little bit, so that breeze is picking up. Anything but baseball weather here. Seems strange to see Manning Field empty with all the lacrosse teams and the track teams, and as I mentioned, it was filled with a ton of young people over there, males and females, running around practicing track. They did that for quite a while. Some of these games at 7 o'clock, lacrosse games at Manning, you don't want to be involved in when you got players wearing shorts and short sleeve shirts at night at 7 o'clock. It's cold enough now. 7, 8 o'clock, it's down in the 30s. Strange New England weather. Just before baseball started, we had the nice 60s and people wearing t-shirts, and all of a sudden now it's back to the winter gear because it is cold. Ross, the catcher, will lead off for Somerville. And again, I apologize, I do not have first names for Somerville. And that could be my problem too, because I didn't remind him that I needed him, and he sent a young man up with the roster, and it was too late to go back and get first names. So mostly my fault. In for a strike. Evens the count at 1. The 1-1 pitch up and coming. Swing and a miss. Swung right through that pitch. And it's now 1-2. Chase, the pitch was down and away. That was way out of the strike zone. So for the second inning in a row, Galva starts with a strikeout. First one was called, this one's swinging. And I'll bring up the center fielder, Griffin. English, along with Classical, St. Mary's, and Swampscott, will be taking part in the annual Mullins tournament coming down Memorial Day weekend, May 23rd and 24th here at Frazier Field. honoring an outstanding young man who was an assistant at Classical and then became a head coach. Joe Carpenter getting it started. And they've, in the couple of years it's been going, they've given out $12,000 in scholarships. So it's a great event honoring a great young man. Line in, nice play. Griffin thought he had a base hit. Engel Thomas covering a lot of ground over to right center field, and the last step he got, stuck the glove out and made the catch. He takes extra bases away from Griffin. That's an outstanding defensive play. O'Brien, the first baseman, will be the hitter. Chased that curveball and swung right through it. So in the 3 games, this being the 3rd game this week, we've had some outstanding defensive plays, and that was one of them. Hit foul. Thomas got a great jump, still had to cover a lot of territory, and at the last second just stuck the glove out and made the catch. The 0-2 pitch up and coming, way up and in for a ball. The 1-2 pitch. Thought about it, held up, and it just outside. Didn't miss by much, but it missed. Almost caught him looking. Held up just enough. They checked with the base umpire. He said no, he didn't swing. And the count goes full. And that's ball 4. So the first base runner for the game is the first baseman O'Brien for Somerville, drawing a 2-out walk. Seeley, the third baseman, will be the hitter, hitting from the left side. Swung on a miss, and the pitcher was down and in. It got away from the catcher, but nobody going anywhere. The runner goes, he gets a good pitch to run on. Down and in off the catcher's glove. So O'Brien scoots down to second. He's in scoring position with 2 outs. Wide for a ball. The 2-1 pitch up and coming. On the inside corner. He ducked away a little bit, but it was right on the corner. So we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner at second base in inning number 2. And it goes wide for a ball. The payoff pitch up and coming. Back-to-back walks. Galva got the strikeout. That play in center field by Thomas is a little bit bigger now with the 2 walks. Antonelli DHing for the left fielder. Oliver is the hitter. Down and in for a ball. So after 2 quick outs, Galva having a little bit of a hiccup here, walking back-to-back hitters. Swing and a miss. evens the count at 1. In for strike 2. So Anthony, one swing of the bat from possibly giving Somerville a lead. Galva one strike away from getting out of a jam. It's high for a ball. And again, we have deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 on in inning number 2. So we got deuces all over the place. Hit foul. Popped up in foul territory. Benson at third base and going back. Bianco, the shortstop, calls him off, makes the play, so the 2 walks don't hurt. As they get Antonelli on the pop-up shortstop in foul territory. Somerville leaves 2. And we'll move into the bottom half of the second inning. It'll be as it was for Somerville, so shall it be for English. 4, 5, and 6, the middle of the order. Gilbert Galva, Engel Thomas, Elian Pena, or Elian. I'll say it both ways, hope I get it right once. Bourne will start his second inning of work. A few more fans showed up, mostly on the English side. There's a few fans on the Somerville side. A little bit of a trip to make, especially early in the afternoon with all the traffic. And it can be really hard traffic here in Lynn because they're doing a lot of construction. Congratulations to Mayor Nicholson and the City Council and the city doing a lot of work on the very well needed on the streets here in Lynn. They're doing it, and we have to give them the tip of the hat. They're doing a very nice job trying to get the city back up. Looking good. Congratulations to the city, the mayor, and everybody involved, the city workers. Hit foul. That went right through the coach's box at third base. Gilbert Galva. I'm assuming he's related to the pitcher, Gilmer Galva. He's the first baseman leading off. Punched in. Great play. Another outstanding defensive play. Ardora, the shortstop, takes a base hit away. That was going into center field, and he went way to his left glove hand, almost to the second base bag, and picked it, and takes a hit away from Galva. So we haven't played 2 innings yet, and we've had 2 outstanding defensive plays, one by each team. Over but low. Engel Thomas made the other one. He was the one making that great running catch. It turned out to be big because it was followed by 2 back-to-back walks. He went a long way into right center field and picked it on the run. And now Ardoro picks one at shortstop. So each team taking hits away. Three in a row out of the strike zone. Count goes 3-0. He'll be taking a long look at this one, I would assume. On 4 pitches, Thomas becomes the first base runner. So both teams, their first base runner in the game is a base on balls. Elian Pena. Or Elian. Again, I'll say it both ways, hope I get it right. Pena is the catcher for the Bulldogs. High and tight for a ball. Missing low for a ball. 6 in a row out of the strike zone by Bourne. Now, Ross, the catcher, wants to go up and talk to his pitcher. That gives Pena a chance to talk to his third base coach. So the wheel's turning on both sides. Still strange to see Manning Field empty with all the teams we have in the city with 5 high schools. Pitching down and away. 7 in a row out of the strike zone. And Pena will be taking a long look at this pitch. In for a strike. That breaks the streak. See if that gets him back in a groove. The 3-1 pitch. Hits it foul, a little inside out swing. That might have been ball 4. And the count goes full. Bourne trying to come all the way back after throwing 7 balls in a row. Hit the second base slowly. They're only going to have one play. It's almost like a sacrifice. Fusco, the second baseman, had to go to his left. He had only one play at first base. He throws Pena out. Thomas will move over to second with 2 outs, and Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder, will be the hitter. So English has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, just like Somerville had in the top of this inning. Missing inside for a ball. So we fell behind 3-0 on Pena. Come back and got him for the second out. Hit in the air. Long run for everybody. And it goes off the top of the English dugout out of play. Third baseman, Seeley, and the pitcher, Bourne, all chasing that one. Bourne delivers. Call strike. Bourne thought it was strike 3. It's only strike 2. Caught Rodriguez looking. That was right down the middle. The 1-2 pitch up and coming. Hit in the air, coming on the left field. We'll get there. Oliver makes the play. So English leaves a runner in scoring position. So still nothing to choose from. In this Greater Boston League battle. Still 0-0 going into the third. And for Somerville, it'll be 9-1-2. Facing Gilmer Galva, who will be starting his third inning of work. Again, not an easy day to be out here playing baseball. Usually you like to be bouncing around, working up a little bit of a sweat. Short sleeves. Now you can't wait to get in the dugout to put a jacket on because it's freezing. Martel, the right fielder, will lead it off for Somerville. And it's just strange to see 2 lone runners working out, running around the track, maybe 3. Over at Manning Field. So we mentioned it's English's first game. We're going to get a successful season started successfully. Someone was looking for their first win. They've already played a couple. Last week when we had the good weather, temperatures in the 60s, nobody was playing. St. Mary's got to play one game in good weather. They played last Friday. So Martel will step in against Galva to start the top of the third inning. Hit foul. Off the screen into the seats. Top of the order, Fusco, the second baseman, on deck. Chased that pitch, it was way up and in. Got a piece and fouled it into the glove of the catcher, Pena. The 1-2 pitch up and coming. Down the way for a ball. And that evens the count at 2. Chased that pitch, it was way up and away. And all 3 innings, Galva started the inning with a strikeout. Once called, 2 swinging. Fusco was called on strikes leading off the ball game. He's the second baseman. Hits it foul up in the seats. Hits it foul again up in the seats. Hit in the air. It's going to go foul down the left field line. Long run. Nobody's going to get there. Third baseman Benson, shortstop Beato, left fielder Rodriguez, all giving it a shot. But just out of reach. Oscar's gone to the left side every time. Started, held up, was up and away for a ball. Curveball breaks in. He backed away from it on the inside corner. Nice pitch by Galva. So he gets Fusco called on strikes for the second time. Picks up his fourth strikeout. And Adoro, the shortstop, he made that outstanding defensive play, taking it away from Gilbert Galva. And it was fairly big because it was followed by a walk that would have given English 2 base runs with nobody out. Missing low for a ball. In for a strike. The 2-1 pitch. Hit foul back. And we got Deuces Wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of the third inning. That one breaks down and in. And the count goes full. The payoff pitch up and coming. Solid shot. Picked by the third baseman. And they throw it, nice play. Galva picked the throw that bounced at first base, but a great play. Benson, that was a solid shot. Reached down across his body, picked it with the glove, bounced the ball to first. Galva, so good play on both ends. Another 1-2-3 inning. Second in 3 innings for Galva. And that looked like it was going to be the first base hit of the game. It was a solid shot. We welcome all you who are watching this live. Nice we can do that. It'll be shown later on LETV, but it's nice that we can get it out there so people can see it. So you can stay home and not freeze to death here at Frazier Field. Watch the game. We did it with football games and basketball games and modernization coming to LETV. I've been doing this for a very long time. And the last thing I thought was I would be doing these games live. I never thought we'd come to this. Of course, I never thought I'd be doing this long either. I thought they'd get rid of me by now. Eight, 9, and 1 for English as we start the bottom of the third. Still nothing to choose. Both runners have got a runner as far as second base, but no further. Both teams both looking for their first hit. Aduro thought he had it with that shot to third base, but Benson made an outstanding play. So we haven't had a lot of hits, but we've had a lot of 3 actually terrific defensive plays. Josue Prandy, the second baseman, will lead it off. Bourne starting his third inning of work. That came right in my lap. I almost made that play. If I had a glove, I would have caught that. Our crew was still shaking. They're holding their hearts. There is no covering on the backstop. And that came right through and bounced, almost hit my scorecard. I was able to get out of the way. My cameraman got out of the way. Camera girl. Mr. Sullivan, the director, gasped. Everybody held their breath. And that was awful close. Swing and a miss on a pitch inside. He swung right through it. So that woke up everybody in the press box. In case you were napping a little bit, nap time is over with that shot. Third strikeout for Bourne. Second time he started an inning. Down and in for a ball. Saul Herrera, DHing for the right fielder. Daniel Fuentes is the hitter. So that was a shot and a half that came right over. As I mentioned, you have the backstop. There used to be a covering on top of the backstop, and that ball would hit, and that's where you, like at Fenway Park, when everybody goes woo as it rolls down. Seeley making the play over to O'Brien for the second out. And it used to go up, hit, and roll back to home plate. Well, when they replaced the backstop, they didn't put the top on. So now if they hit like that, anything can come right into the press box. So you have to be alert at all times. And that certainly wasn't alert. Top of the order, Eward Beato, the shortstop, struck out swinging in the first inning. Swing and a miss. So it's nice to know, as old as I am, I can still get out of the way. Because that was coming right in my lap. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning. A 1-2-3, his second 1-2-3 inning. As we move along, still nothing for either team. Still looking for the first hit. Both pitchers have 4 strikeouts. Galver has walked 2. Bourne has walked 1. We finished 3, and nothing to choose between these two teams. The only base runners are back-to-back walks in the second for Somerville and a 1-out walk in the second for English. Those defensive plays took what looked like the only base hits of the game away. Thomas with that play in center field. Benson with that great stop at third base and throwing the runner out. And Adora for Somerville going way to his left and picking the ball going into center field, taking a hit away from Gilbert Galva. And that's as close as anybody has got to a base hit. It'll be 3, 4, and 5. The pitcher, Bourne, so it'll be pitcher against pitcher, starting the 4th inning. was the one that had the hit taken away by the center fielder Thomas. He lined a shot into right center field. Thomas covered a lot of ground at the last minute, just reached across with the left hand and picked the ball in right center field, taking extra bases away. On the corner for a strike. So again, pitcher against pitcher here. Backed away from that curveball and fouled it off. It was up and in. And quickly it's 2 strikes. Down and away for a ball. The game we did here Tuesday was similar to this. Link Glasgow defeated Everett. Glasgow got a hit and 3 walks in the second inning for 1 run, and that was the game. It was so cold and miserable, and the game wound up 1-0. And this is very similar to that game. On the corner, I think Bourne knew it when he took it. Calver started 4 innings, and he started 4 innings with a strikeout. That's his 5th, because he got 2 in the 3rd. Ross, the catcher, swings and misses. High and tight, almost hit him. Swing and a miss. Hit off to the right side, foul and out of play up in the seats. Count stays 1-2 to the Highlander catcher. Few more Brave fans coming to the ballpark. Punches it to third. Benson. Nice throw that time. First time he bounced it, Galvin made the play. This time he put it right on the belt buckle of Galvin. Good throw. Nice play. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th. And I take it back. I said Bourne lined out. Bourne flied out to center field. This is Griffin, the center fielder, is the one that hit the line short that Thomas made the outstanding play on. He's up now for the 2nd time. High and tight for a ball, backing away was Griffin. In for a strike. The 1-1 pitch up and coming. Just hung inside. He was backing away. I don't know how they thought he swung. They checked with the base umpire. He said no. And the count goes 2-1. Hit off the second baseman's glove. That's a base hit. Nice attempt by Prandy, but he would have had a hard time throwing him out anyway. So Griffin, who had a hit taken away the first time, gets a hit this time. That's the first hit of the game. Shot. Prandy made a nice play to try and go get it. He got a glove on it, knocked it down, but even if he got the ball after he knocked it down, he wouldn't have been able to throw Griffin out. O'Brien, the first baseman, drew a walk. one of two in a row that Galva issued in the second, but both of them came with 2 outs. The runner takes off, stealing second, in easily as the ball goes to the backstop. So again, Somerville has a runner in second, again with 2 outs. And it's going to bring a trip out to the mound. So we got our first hit of the game. It comes from the Highlanders. Griffin, who we mentioned had a hit taken away his first time. And he almost had a hit taken away that time. Brandy almost made a nice play. Decent little crowd over on the English side in a day that again is ice cubes. It is cold. This would be a tough time to play football. This is like being down at the Connery rink in the hockey season where it's so cold. So 2 outs and a runner at second here in the 4th inning. Missing low for a ball. First 2 pitches out of the strike zone to O'Brien. Line shot, got out in front just enough to pull it foul. That had the Somerville fans excited on that shot to left field, but hooked it foul, and the count goes 2-1. Missing down in the turf, and the count goes 3-1. Seeley, the third baseman, is on deck. The 3-1 pitch up and coming. Chased that pitch. Might have been a little bit low. Almost like a golf swing. And the count is full, 3-2. The payoff pitch up and coming. Ball 4 goes to the backstop. That's going to move the runner up. O'Brien walks for the second time. On the pass ball, Griffin moves over to third. Let's see what they do with the runner at first, with first and third and 2 outs. Seeley, the third baseman, drew a walk. Galva steps off. Down on the turf. They almost picked him up. They had him, but the tag was a little bit late. They would have picked him off. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to steal second base. That one not as close on the throw over. Down the way for a ball. Throw is in the turf. Galva did a nice job to block it. That could have been trouble with a runner at third base. Hit off to the left, out of play. He was about to take another step off the bag when they threw it over. He just got back, did Mr. O'Brien down at first base. They let the runner go to second. Took them a long time, but they finally stole second base. Pena threw it back to Galva, hoping the runner at third might jump off. So second and third now with 2 outs. Line fouls to the screen, and we got a full count. Somerville with the first runner as far as third base, but there's 2 outs. The outfield for English is very shallow. High for ball 4. So the same sequence for O'Brien and Seeley. He walked both of them back to back in the second inning. This time it comes after a base hit by Griffin and loads the bases. Antonelli, the DH, hitting for the left fielder. Oliver is the hitter. He popped up to the shortstop. Has to duck under that pitch over his head. I think he just saw his life pass in front of him with that pitch. So Somerville with the first threat. Hit in the left field for a base hit. They're saying the runner home. And they waited too long to throw it, and they throw it away. So a big 2-out hit by Antonelli. So this time the walks hurt. And then the error on the throw. They had plenty of time to throw him out at the plate. They hesitated. When they finally threw it, they threw it away. And it's second and third with the error. Down and away for a ball. Martel, the hitter, struck out swinging. So a big 2-out hit by Antonelli knocks in 2 runs. Hit foul back up over everything, back towards Western Avenue. So English, very gracious hosts, giving up back-to-back walks for the second time, and this time it hurts, as it was the walks followed a single, and then with 2 outs, a big 2-out hit. High and tight for a ball. So Galva was coasting coming into this inning, and now he's kind of lost it. Inside for a ball. Top of the order, Fusco on deck. Third walk in the inning. Loads the bases back up, and that brings a trip out to the mound. So Galva was coasting. The only thing he gave up was back-to-back walks in the second inning. After 2 outs, got out of the inning. Had another 1-2-3 inning in the third. Got the first 2 hitters in this inning on a strikeout and a groundout. But then Griffin got a base hit, And for the second time in the game, back-to-back walks to O'Brien and Seeley loaded the bases. And then Antonelli hits the single between the third baseman and shortstop into left field. A big two-out hit knocks in two. On the relay, they had a chance to throw the runner out at the plate. They threw the ball away. Runners moved up to second and third. Then the third walk of the inning to Martel loads the bases. And Fusco will be the 8th hitter in the inning for Somerville. He has been called on strikes twice. The pitch misses for a ball. I think they might have removed Galva, but Wilfredo Perez went out to warm up. He's only been out there a short time. Hit off the first baseman, the error. I think he wishes he lets the second baseman take that play. Second error in the inning brings the run in. That looked like an easy out. Second baseman going to make the play. And that one bounced. And luckily it bounced off Payne and bounced towards the pitcher's mound rather than to the backstop. Adoro has popped to second, grounded out third to first. Hit foul. Nice play by the third base coach. So English has blown up here in this fourth inning. 2 walks, 2 errors, a big 2-out hit, 3 walks. Hit high in the air to left field, long run, not going to get there. English lucked out, it went foul. Rodriguez with a long run to left field chasing that one, and it just hooked foul. That would have been 3 more runs. Adoro was the 9th hitter in the inning. They're waiting for the center fielder to come back. He went way over into left field as well. That one goes to the backstop. Here comes another run. So the wild pitch brings in a run. That takes off the force at any base. Moves the runners to second and third. We got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hit in the air to left field, going back, it's over his head. Out of the park for a home run. What an inning for Somerville. He almost hit the foul ball out. Three-run home run, and that was a blast. Bourne, who started the inning with a strikeout, is the hitter. Seven to nothing, Somerville. And there's another base hit. We couldn't get a hit. We couldn't get a runner home. We couldn't get anything. And all of a sudden, Somerville. And that's going to be it for Galva. So Galva gives up 3 hits in this inning. He walked 5, he struck out 5. But the back-to-back walks in this inning have both scored. Back-to-back errors have brought in runs. A wild pitch brought in a run. And we're still going with a runner at first. Wilfred Perez is going to be the new pitcher. And Galva's going to go to center field. So I assume that means that Perez will hit in Thomas's spot, the center fielder. Perez will try to stop the bleeding. And Ross, the catcher, who has struck out and grounded out the third, will be the 11th hitter in the inning. We're breezing along. Somerville had the biggest inning, having 2 base runners in the second inning, but it was with 2 outs. English had only one, up to this point, only has 1 base runner. But all of a sudden, 11 hitters, 3 walks, 3 hits, 2 errors, a wild pitch. And all of a sudden, it's 7-0. Somerville. Looked like Galva was having a nice day. And then all of a sudden, after a base hit by Griffin for the second time in the game, back-to-back walks to O'Brien and Seeley. And those back-to-back walks have come around to score in this inning, along with 5 others. And then the shot and a half by Adoro, the 3-run home run over the left field fence. Hit in the air to center field. Going back to center field, the Prandy makes the nice defensive play. So they finally end the inning. Not before Somerville sends 11 hitters to the plate. They put 7 on the board with only 3 base hits. So Galva's day on the mound is done. Walked 5. Gave up 4 base hits. Struck out 5. And gave up 7 runs. The last few were unearned. But Somerville will take them. And Al Bourne going out on the mound has to feel a little easy. He's got a 7-run cushion. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for English in the bottom of the 4th inning. I think Perez is going back out to the bullpen to get a little more warm-up because he wasn't able to warm up as much as he would like. He was pressed in the service, that's for sure. So what a turn of events. From a pitcher's duel, looking for our first hit. Somerville not only gets the first hit, but they get not only the first run, but they get 7 runs. So Gilmer Galva, who is now the center fielder, will lead it off. He pops up to the pitcher in foul territory down the first baseline, his 1 trip. English needs a rally. Hit in the air. First baseman almost in the first base coach's box. Galvin hit it right where he hit it before. This time it's the first baseman picking it. So 1 pitch, 1 out in the 4th inning. Jariel Benson made that nice defensive play at third. He struck out swinging his 1 trip. Missing for a ball. Hits it foul back. Surprising when after that 3-0 pitch. English needs base runs. In for a strike. He took it. I think he thought he was going to get a walk. He didn't like the call. The count goes full. Line shot. Second base, that's the second time. Infield is taking one away. Nice play by the second baseman, Fusco. Way to his right, had a lean across his body, and he picks that line drive and he takes a base hit away. Benson thought he had a hit, maybe extra bases out in right center field. Instead, it's 2 outs. Gilbert Galva thought he had a base hit. He hit a line shot, looked like it was going to the center field. The shortstop, Ardora, who hit the 3-run home run, made a big play going to his left and picking it for an out. Fouled into the catcher's glove. Quickly, it's 0-2. Chased it down the way. They'll have to throw him out. He's safe. They threw the ball. They threw the ball away. They had him. And I'm not sure what happened to the runner. He's down. I don't know if he tripped over first base. So Bowen gets his 5th strikeout. But the runner reaches. And I don't know, when he reached out to tag him, if he tripped over the bag. I didn't see what happened at the end. They had an easy play to throw him out, but they threw it away from first base, and they had to try and tag him, and they missed him. And he must have tripped over the bag because he's still down and out in foul territory behind first base and right field. So Somerville got their only 4 hits. They had no hits in the first 3 innings. They get 4 hits in the 4th inning, helped out by 2 errors by English. So the 4 hits and the 2 errors combined with a wild pitch. And one of those hits was a 3-run home run by Adoro. And he came up with 7 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, 3 walks, and a wild pitch. So they couldn't get a hit through the first 3. They get 4 hits in the 4th. English helps it out with 2 errors. Back-to-back walks again to O'Brien and Seeley. And then the wild pitch. And Galver is being run for at first base. We hope he's going to be okay. Low for a ball. Engel Thomas. Swing and a miss. I thought Engel Thomas came out of the game with Galva going to center field, but Thomas must have gone someplace else because he's still in the game. He walked his first trip. Hit on the ground to short. Easy play at second. So the error doesn't hurt, or the strikeout that reaches doesn't hurt. English still doesn't have a base hit. Bourne is breezing along with 5 strikeouts. And it looks like Kyle Furlong, who ran for Gilbert Galver, was going to be the first baseman. So we finished 4, and that one big inning. Somerville combining 4 hits, 2 errors, back-to-back walks, and a wild pitch. And it adds up to 7 runs. And Wilfred Perez will start his first inning. He came in and got the 3rd out. With Somerville sending 11 hitters to the plate. Griffin, the center fielder, had a base hit taken away in center field by Thomas with a great play. And then he lined a base hit off the second baseman. he started that uprising, 7 runs, and all 7 runs came after 2 outs. Galva got the first 2 outs. Griffin got a hit off the second baseman's glove, and the roof fell in after that. They got 3 more hits in the inning, giving them 4. 2 big errors by English. 3 walks, extended the innings. A wild pitch. Add it all up, and Somerville has a 7-0 lead. Griffin draws a walk. O'Brien, the first baseman, has not been up officially. He's walked twice and scored a run. He was one of back-to-back walks in the second and one of back-to-back walks in the fourth. And those back-to-back walks came with 2 outs. And it was 2 of 3 walks in the inning. The runner takes off, popped up. They make the play, and they're going to make a double play. They had the runner off and running. Pena picks off the pop-up, makes the strong throw to Furlong, and they double the runner up. Nice play by Pena, the catcher. Got to it quickly, made the good throw to Furlong, and it's 2-away. Seeley, just like O'Brien, the hitter before him, hasn't been up officially. He's walked twice and scored a run. Both O'Brien and Seeley were walked back-to-back. Both times they hit. Second time was in the 4th inning when they both scored runs. In on the hands, he fouls it to the backstop. They may have to put the lights on here pretty quick. Down and in for a ball. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that's ball 4. I missed a pitch. Second walk in the inning, but the other one was the back end of a double play. But Seeley walks for the 3rd time. Antonelli got the big hit. 2 outs, the bases loaded. In the 4th, he knocked in the first 2 runs. And then he came around to score. On a wild pitch. Punch foul toward the Somerville dugout quickly. It's 0-2. He's the DH hitting for the left fielder. He popped up to the shortstop his first time. And that was with 2 runners in scoring position. But he made up for that, getting a big 2-out hit, knocking in the first 2 runs. In for a strike. Manning Field is going to come alive. They're going to have a lacrosse game, and I don't envy those lacrosse players in short sleeve shirts and shorts. Now they check and they say it was strike three. I thought it was. The umpire didn't think it was. He checked with a base umpire, and they say, yes, it was strike three. So that ends the fifth inning. But running around in this type of weather in shorts, and it's going to be even colder when that game starts at 7 o'clock. So Somerville is down. Perez issues his first walk, gets his first strikeout. We'll move into the bottom half of the fifth. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Bulldogs. And Bourne on the mound for Somerville is just breezing along. He hasn't given up a hit yet. He's walked one, and that's the only base runner. Excuse me, two base runners. Galva struck out and reached when the ball went by the catcher. And then he came out of the game because he tripped over first base, went down, and didn't come back. So they had two base runners, a walk and a strikeout that reached. Bourne struck out 5 and walked the batter. So it'll be Elian Pena, Julian Rodriguez, Josue Prandy, the hitters. Pena grounded out second and first. His one trip. Good curveball for a strike. Bourne's mixed up his pitches. In on the hands, punches it to the shortstop. They're going to have to hurry. Safe, he beat it. Just a little tap. Once it got by the third baseman, they were going to have a hard time throwing him out. So Pena gets the infield hit for the first hit for the Bulldogs. Julian Rodriguez flied out to left field his one trip. Hit to the backstop. Quick throw over, diving back, Pena. Hit in the air to right center field, long run. What a nice play by the center fielder. Another great defensive play. Griffin out in center field takes extra bases and probably a run away from English. What an outstanding play. That's an ESPN highlight. Rodriguez hit it right on the nose, heading for the scoreboard. And Griffin on the run over his shoulder made a tremendous running catch going away from home plate. What a great play. We've had some outstanding defensive plays. Both teams have made 2 defensive plays that have been really fun to watch. High and tight for a ball. Joshua Prandy, the second baseman, struck out swinging. In for a strike. Bourne took a little too much time. Hit foul for the English dugout. So a little tap that just barely made it to the shortstop is the hit that English has through this 4 1/3 innings. Somerville out hitting English 4-1. Foul tip held on to by the catcher. And that's strike 3. They had a little to do again for strike 3. Six strikeouts. Low for a ball. Saul Herrera, the DH, grounded out third to first. He's hitting for the right fielder, Daniel Fuentes. Swing and a miss. Nowhere near second base with that throw. English gets the stolen base. I think now that the defensive changes, it might have been the center fielder Thomas going to right field, and Herrera might be hitting now for the pitcher, Perez, with Fuentes the right fielder coming out. I think that's probably what happened defensively. Drop foul. Two outs, a runner at second here in the fifth inning. Somerville with a big 7-run inning, leading English 7-0. 7 runs coming in the fourth inning. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts the inning. He now has 7. So they get the leadoff little punch, the first hit of the game. Steele second, and stranded at second. So he's now struck out 7, giving up the 1 walk. Perez will start his second inning of work. And it'll be 9-1-2 for the Highlanders. And some of these Braves fans have hung on through this cold weather. People on the Somerville side have stayed. They're glad they did with that big 7-run fourth inning. We mentioned English will be right back here tomorrow, taking on the combined Lynn-Tech Kip team. So unless English has a huge 2 innings left, they are not going to make it 3 in a row here at Frazier Field for the Lynn teams. And if they won, it would have guaranteed 4 in a row because there's 2 Lynn teams playing tomorrow. Again, I don't envy that lacrosse game. It is going to be bitterly cold later tonight. It'll be like down in the 30s, but it'll seem like the 20s with the breeze. I don't know if there's another baseball game here tonight because I see some baseball players coming up. So Martel, the right fielder, struck out, was issued one of the 3 walks in the 4th inning and scored one of the 7 runs. So 9-1-2 for the Highlanders. High and tight for a ball. Hit in the air to center field, coming on. Galvo will make the play. Covered a lot of ground. So 1 up and 1 down in the 6th. Fusco, the second baseman, was called on strikes twice in the 4th inning. He reached on one of the 2 errors committed by English and scored one of the 7 runs. He walked around on Adora's 3-run home run. Hit in the air, drifting back, making the one-handed catch is the left fielder Rodriguez. So 2 quick outs in the 6th. And Adoro, the shortstop, who made a great defensive play earlier, he got one of the 4 hits that Somerville has in that 4th inning, and it was a hit and a half. He hit a foul ball that just hooked foul up against the fence in left field, and then he hit one over the fence in left field for a 3-run home run. Hit saltly to third base. Benson with a nice play, and the throw is off line. English makes their 3rd error of the game, and that's the 2nd by Benson. He threw it way off the line at first base. So 3 errors in the game for English, 2 of them by the third baseman. This one comes with 2 outs. They send the runner, hit right to the second baseman. They had the runner going. So the error doesn't hurt. Somerville's down again. The 4th inning has been the inning. We're moving to the bottom half of the 6th. It'll be the top of the order for the Bulldogs. And this is not so far an auspicious beginning for the Bulldogs. They've been almost perfect in 5 innings, but that 1 inning, giving up 4 hits, the only 4 hits that Somerville has in the game. 2 of the 3 errors that English has made. 3 of the walks that the pitching has given up. A wild pitch. Add it all up, it comes to 7 runs. The lights are on over at Manning Field. They haven't turned the lights on here at Fraser. I don't really think they're needed right now. Eward Beato has struck out twice, both times swinging. He's 2 of the 7 that Bourne has. And I might add also that the lineup that Coach O'Donnell for Somerville gave me was not, I wasn't able to read it as well as I could. I'm saying Adoro, the shortstop who made the play and hit the home run. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right, and I hope I'm pronouncing Bourne's name right, because it looks like Bourne on the list. So I hope it's correct. I apologize if it's not. But the writing was not as solid as it could have been. A little hard to read. Hit foul back. Beato is the English shortstop. Bourne being very deliberate again. The 2-strike pitch, up and coming. Pitching wide for a ball. That pitch way down the way. He needed a longer bat to hit that one. That one was way down the way. He strikes out for the 3rd time. Gets thrown out at first base by the catcher. Gil McGavin has popped up twice, almost in the same spot both times. Once to the pitcher, once to the first baseman. Right around the first base coach's box is where he popped it both times. He bunts it down. Great play by the pitcher. Good defense. That's another great defensive play. We've seen some outstanding defense. Bourne helped himself there, got quickly off the mound, made a good strong throw, and he throws Galva out. So 2 up, 2 down. Jerry L. Benson struck out swinging. Hit a line shot, looked like a base hit. And the second baseman, Fusco, went way to his right, reached across his body and picked it and took the hit away. And that was a strike, and he didn't think so. You could tell by his actions he didn't think that was a strike. Missing down and in. Swing and a miss. High for a ball. And we got Deuces Wild again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Strike 3 called. He was waiting for the call. He threw the bat. He didn't like that at bat at all, Benson. He was not happy with the calls by the umpire. He threw the bat as he called out on strikes. Bourne gets 2 more strikeouts. He struck out 9, giving up only the 1 walk and the 1 base hit. And the 1 base hit was just a little tapper that just barely made it to shortstop. And the throw to first, Pena beat it by a step, or Bourne would be pitching a no-hitter. So we're down to the 7th inning. English with 1 base hit in the game needs a monumental 7th inning. And we hope that Gilbert Galver is okay. He was the first baseman that reached when the 3rd strike got away from the catcher, and they threw the ball away at first base. And we're assuming he tripped over the bag because he went down hard. He made it to the dugout, but he didn't come back in the game. Kyle Furlong took over at first base. And the sun comes out a little bit. And as the sun comes out, they turn the lights on here at Frazier Field. There must be something coming up after this because there's a team down behind third base. This game initially was scheduled for 7 o'clock, and they moved it to 4 because there was nobody playing here. So I don't know who's coming in afterwards, but somebody's coming. Ross, the catcher, has struck out, grounded to third, popped to second. He batted twice in the 4th inning as Somerville sent 11 to the plate. He just chops at it like he's chopping wood, swinging the bat. In for strike 3, good pitch. Good pitch on the corner, first strike. Griffin, the center fielder, lined out, have a hit taken away, got a base hit, scored a run, and walked. So he's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Way up and in for a ball. Hangs up and in again. And that's ball 4. Well, Brian, the first baseman, walked in the second, walked in the fourth and scored, and he popped up. Hit back to Perez. Safe at second. They threw the ball away. It's an error. Fourth error in the game for English. They had a possible double play. He threw it away. The shortstop was going to the bag, had to reach back to get the ball. It pulled him off the bag. So 4 errors in the game. Seeley, the third baseman, hasn't batted officially. He's walked 3 times. He scored 1 of the 7 runs. In for a strike. So it looked like they might have a double play to end the inning. The throw drew the shortstop off the bag. He was going to the base. They didn't throw the ball to the base. They threw it to the left field side of second base. Pieto had to come off the bag and then couldn't get back to make the tag because Griffin got there first. Hit to second. Bobbled, but they make the play. Now they throw it away. Another error. He bobbled it, but still had plenty of time to make the play, and then threw it away. The run scores, the runners go to second and third. Antonelli has popped up. He got the big 2-out hit. And he just got another big hit. He got the big 2-out hit. The start of the 7-run rally, knocked in the first 2. He gets his 3rd RBI. They held the runner at third. So it's 9-0. 2 runs in for Somerville. Marcellus struck out, got 1 of the 3 walks in the 4th inning and scored 1 of the 7 runs, and he flied out to center field. Hit in the air and running out of real estate, bends and it bounces and goes into the seats. Low for a ball. English again being very gracious hosts. Not the way they wanted to start the season. They were going to throw the ball to first base because the runner was off the bag, but he was running to second. By the time they threw it to second, he was already there. The runner at third had no idea they were doing that. It was a swinging strikeout for the second out. The runner was going to second. They threw the ball to first, or they faked the throw to first. Then they threw it to second. The runner stayed at third. And now Furling will go to first. And the bases are loaded again for Adoro, who was popped to second, grounded to third, reached on an error. In between all that, he hit a 3-run home run. Bobbled by the second baseman, another error. Somerville has reached double figures with 4 runs in this inning, with errors all over the place. It's now 11-0. In for a strike. Way up for a ball. Solid shot into left field. They hold the runner at third. Adora gets another RBI. Five runs in the inning. So another big inning, they put 5 on the board. Strike 3 on the corner. That's the second out in the inning. So Somerville with 5 runs in the inning. They bat around again. Ross is the 10th hitter in the inning. Down in the turf. Fishing for a ball. In for a strike. It's been a quick game for the Bulldogs hitting. It's been a long 2 innings. Batting for Somerville, 7 runs in 1 inning, 5 runs in this inning. Hit in the air, and they'll finally get the out. And Somerville's put up a baker's dozen. 7 in the 4th, 5 in the 7th. They put up 5 runs with 2 base hits. They got 4 hits in the 4th inning, 2 hits in the 7th inning, 6 hits in the game, and they've scored 12 runs. Because English has made 6 errors, walked a ton, a wild pitch. English has 1 base hit, and it was a tap that just barely made it to the shortstop, and they were safe at first by a step. Otherwise, they wouldn't have that. They only had 2 base runners. That base hit and a strikeout that reached. So Bourne trying to finish off an outstanding performance. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for the Bulldogs. Kyle Furlong will be up for the first time. He came in to play first base with Gilbert Galva. The second runner to reach, he was the one that scooted to first on a strikeout that got by the catcher. And the throw was late at first base, so he was safe. But we're assuming he tripped over the bag because he went down hard. And he made it to the dugout, but he never came back in the game. And Kyle Furlong went in to play first base, and he's batting for the first time against Bourne. So English is going to not get a good start to the season with their first game. Hit to third. 1 pitch, Seeley over to O'Brien. Right at the left fielder. Thomas hit it a ton and lined it. Pena, the catcher, has the only hit. He hit the little tap to the shortstop and beat the throw to first base for an infield hit. Otherwise, Bourne would be pitching a no-hitter with 2 outs here in the 7th. Knocked down by the first baseman. Out at first base. Bourne makes the play. O'Brien went way to his right, knocked it down, flipped it, and Bourne just beat Pena to the bag. So Bourne finishes a great game, making the last putout himself. Great hustle going to first base and beating the runner. He was outstanding. He didn't give up a run, struck out 9, gave up 1 base hit, a little tap infield hit. He walked only 1. So a walk, an infield hit, and a strikeout that reached are the only 3 hitters that reach for the Bulldogs, and that's all they could get. Somerville had 4 hits, 3 walks, 2 errors by English. A wild pitch amounted to 7 runs in the 4th inning, and that was all they really needed. They added 5 more in the 7th inning with 2 base hits, but there were 3 more errors, as English made 5 errors in the game, giving up a ton of walks, a wild pitch, and Somerville gets their first win of the season. They go 1-2, as English is very gracious hosts, giving up a lot with walks and errors. And the big 2-out hit by Antonelli with 2 outs, bases loaded, he knocked in the first 2, and shortly after that, Arduro, the shortstop, hit a 3-run home run over the left field fence. That was the bulk of the 7 runs. Another one scored on an error, another one scored on a wild pitch, and then the bulk of errors in the 7th inning allowed Somerville to score 5 more. So 2 big errors by Somerville is the difference in the game. As they win their first game of the season, they go 1-2. English will start off on the downside, 0-1, and it's back to practice and trying to get away from the errors and the walks. It looked good for 3 innings with Galva, and then the bottom fell out in the 4th with that big 7-run inning, and it was over after that. So 12-0, 2 big innings for Somerville is the difference as they knock off the Bulldogs 12-0 here in this Greater Boston League battle. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.